Hey everybody, making another Tau video here for the new Tau release, and right now I'm going to be going over my thoughts on the Codex, not as a book, but as an army on the table. So this is where the start of the important part is in the Tau Codex, Forces of the Tau Empire. Here we have the important special rules, which is the bonding knife, which allows a unit to rally on its leadership if they're below 25%. So, may or may not be useful. Supporting fire you've heard about, I'm sure, where all friendly units within 6 inches gets to overwatch the charging unit. And warlord trait table, most of which are meh. A lot of them are one use only, so I don't know how useful that's actually going to be. So here we go. The next thing is going over drones, how they work for both infantry and vehicles. So a character with drones can join any unit just like it was an independent character. So basically that goes over. Some changes are that they know the marker drones really had a big change. They're no longer network marker lights, and they no longer have targeting arrays because there is no targeting array in the new book, unfortunately. So everyone's stuck at their BS. Shield generators are the same. Gun drones are better because the pulse carbine got better. So here you're over the battlesuit commander. Really nothing new. You just have one choice instead of two, which basically has the stats of the old Chasseau for 10 more points, but also has the built-in multi-tracker and black sun filter because he's a crisis suit. Ethereals are really good. I really like the way what they did with the ethereals. There's basically no more downside to an ethereal. So, because in the old book, of course, if you died, everyone had to take a leadership task, blah blah blah. Now ethereals are just pretty freaking amazing. He has a leadership bubble that allows rerolls for all kind of leadership and morale tests of 12 inches. And then, of course, he's got the Invocation of the Elements, which allows an army-wide buff chosen at the beginning of your shooting phase. Or beginning of your turn, sorry. And the buffs are really good. You can give everyone Stubborn, you can give everyone an extra pulse shot, you can everyone feel no pain 6 up, or you can snapshot after running. So those are some really, really good powers there. Cadre Fireblade. I really, really like the Cadre Fireblade. The Cadre Fireblade is an infant character. He's just a really cheap HQ, but he's got a lot of cool rules and a lot of cool items. He's got a marker light, and he's got split fire rule, and he's got the volley fire rule, which allows pulse weapons to have an extra shot, and he also has BS5. Cadre Fireblade, to me, just screams put me on the quad gun because he can split fire, so the quad gun can fire at something different than the rest of his fire warrior unit, and he's BS5. So that's really good. Fire warriors are pretty much the same. They're a little bit cheaper, and they include photon grenades now, but otherwise they're pretty much identical. Pathfinders. Pathfinders are going to be the new important unit here in your codex because of the marker lights. The marker lights are even better, easier to use, and they're really, really synergistic with the rest of the army. They have to take special drones, of course, and they have the pulse carbines, which again are much better. Devilfish is kind of a disappointment. Devilfish is actually the same price. It gets extra shots now because both the burst cannon and the gun drones have more shots than they did before, but other than that, it's virtually identical. The XV8 is still incredibly flexible. You can pack them out get them out any way you want. Of course, they're cheaper. They include the black sun filter and the multi-tracker, so you don't have to worry about using up a slot to fire multiple weapons. And the best part is you don't have to fill all your slots like you used to have to. You have 3 slots you can add things to. You don't have to fill them up. So you can have very, very cheap crisis suits if you want, with a specific purpose. The bodyguard changed. They added an attack and removed the weapon skill because the old crisis bodyguard was actually weapon skill 3 instead of 2, but now they just have 3 base attacks, which at strength 5 isn't too bad, especially against vehicles. Not so much against anybody with a weapon skill of 5 or greater. Broadsides. Of course, there's been a lot of talk about broadsides with the rail rifle changing. with the strength of their shots changing. But again, they really haven't changed too much. They do get the multi-tracker, they do get the black sun filters because they're suits, and they include the twin-linked heavy rail rifle and the more smart missile system. We'll get over the smart missile system later. Stealth teams, again, haven't changed a whole lot at all. A little bit cheaper, I think, but not a lot. And they still have stealth and shrouding, and they still come with burst cannons. Burst cannons, though, are better, again. Here it is, the Riptide, a very important, very sought-after suit. Riptides are definitely going to be seen on the battlefield. I don't know how good they're actually going to be. They are quite expensive, especially when you start giving them upgrades, but they do give you quite a bit. They do have, the heavy burst cannon, which gives you a lot of shots, and overcharged even more shots. If you want to upgrade to the ion accelerator, you can. There's 3 modes of that gun, and you can take the shield and missile drones, which are toughness 6 also, so the whole unit's toughness 6, and they have a 4-up invul save and a missile pod. Of course, he's only got a 5-up invul save because he's got the Riptide shield generator, which is a little different. And he can always Nova boost it to 3-up. The Nova reactor gives you 4 different options on what you can do with it, should you want to take the chance. But he is jetpack monsters infantry, so he can move 6, fire, and then jump 2d6, or you can over that to 4d6, which gives him an incredible amount of maneuverability. It's monsters creatures, so he's going to hit AP2 in close combat, and of course can do smash attacks. He's got 3 base attacks, so with smash attack you'll have 2, which, if you're land raiders or whatever, that's not too bad. Not too bad with the loss of other strength 10 shots. Your sniper drone team. Sniper drone teams got a lot better. They're no longer, high AP, or low AP, they're no longer AP3. They do have a longer range. They are snipers, so that means they get rending. And due to the drone controller rules, the drones actually fire at BS5, which isn't too bad. And you can take up to 9 of these drones in a unit. So 9 48-inch sniper rifles at BS5, definitely nothing to complain about. Piranhas also got a lot better. They got a lot cheaper and got more shots. So Piranhas are definitely even more viable than they used to be. The new flyers, the Shanshak Bomber is exactly okay. The interceptor drones are okay. The bomb itself, of course, kind of sucks. It's only AP5. But having the interceptor drones with strength 7 shots isn't too bad to add in for the defense, because the interceptor drones can deploy and intercept. Let's see. Yeah, special rules on the drones is intercept, skyfire, and supporting fire. So yeah, the drones aren't too bad, the interceptor drones, but the bomber itself is exactly only okay. Razor Shark, a lot better, it gets a lot of firepower. You have 6 strength 7 shots, and it's cheaper than the Sun Shark too. So I think the Razor Sharks are actually going to be pretty good. Hammerhead gunships. This here is the one rail cannon left in the game. But the ion cannon, though, got even better because it does have multiple modes of fire, including basically a battle cannon mode, which definitely sounds pretty good to me. So I don't know about losing the ability on the strength 10. Basically, the Tau which was the king at strength 10 AP1, that has pretty much gone to the wayside over volume of fire and AP, and blasts and everything else. So I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of rail cannons anymore, which kind of disappointing to me, because that really was the Tau's thing, was a strength 10 AP1 shot. So that's kind of a disappointment. But the flavor of the army has kind of changed, as you would expect from a new Codex. Skyray. Skyray, I have to tell you, is fantastic. The Skyray is cheaper than the Hammerhead, and it comes with the 6 Seeker missiles and 2 network marker lights. One of the only 2 units in the book with network marker lights. But it also includes a velocity tracker, which gives it Skyfire. And this is a really cheap tank. And with the Skyfire, the Secret Missiles, Network Marker Lights, and you can swap out the gun drones for smart missile systems for free. And again, I'll get over to the smart missile system eventually. Kroot Carnivore Squad. A lot of people were complaining about the loss of attacks on the Kroot, but because the Kroot rifle no longer gives you +2 attacks, or +1 attack, I should say, for counting as having, no longer counts as having 2 weapons. They did get a bit cheaper. They include an armor save. It's only 6 up. It's an orc player, when you're in combat, most weapons are EP dash anyway, so it's not that big a deal. So something is better than nothing. The Kroot Hounds give you acute senses, and you only need 1 model with acute senses to be able to use that ability, so you can outflank on either. So you can reroll your outflank roll. They have infiltrate, move through cover, and stealth in forests. The Kroot Tox Rider is really much better because you don't lose your infiltrate ability, and the Kroot Rifle being snap, and the changes to rapid fire makes the Kroot Rifle even better, being able to move and still fire its full 48-inch range with a single shot, or a rapid fire. Or you come on, something's close to the edge, you get, within 18 inches of the edge, you get the rapid fire 2 strength 7 shots. That's not too bad. And they can upgrade their rifles to sniper shells, which gives them a 24-inch sniper gun, which for a point of model, it really isn't a bad option. Vespids got better. They're still kind of a spindy. They had a better save. They're initiative 6. I don't know if they were before. The gun got better to an 18-inch range. I don't know if you'll be seeing them much on the table anyway, but they did get better. If you're going to have something that's bad, there really isn't anything bad that's in this codex. The Vespids are probably going to be the least used, but they're not bad like they were before. Drone squadrons, pretty much the same. You can take any kind of drone you want in there, except the missile drones. Missile drones are broadsides only, fortunately. Commander Farsight really hasn't changed much at all. He has all the same basic rules, but he doesn't have any of the restrictions he had before. So you don't have to worry about not taking. You can take Kroot with Farsight. You can, take. There's no more restrictions on the broadsides or anything else. No restrictions anymore at all. And the only thing he does is gives you, but he still gives you the 7-man bodyguard team if you want it. And yeah. And his downblade's the same. It's AP2, armor vein. So it's weapon skill 5, strength 5, initiative 5. So yeah, he's a beating stick. Shadow Sun. Shadow Sun is definitely back in a big way. Before she was just but now she's really good. She got this battle suit that has stealth and shrouded, just like all the other stealth suits. She's an independent character. Her shield drones, if you take them, are 3-up invul save instead of 4 or 5. She can give people, any unit within 12 inches of her rerolls of 1 to hit. She's got an advanced targeting system, so she has intercept. She can fire fusion blasters at 2 different targets. Fusion blasters got better. So yeah, the Shadow Sun's going to probably be a viable HQ choice, especially with the kind of cheese you can pull. But I'm not going to talk about cheese because I'm sure you'll read about that on Bowls before long. Unva is just a very expensive ethereal. You got the bodyguard. You get 2 of the ethereal powers a turn, and it has the interesting ability that says that they have a save equal to the AP of the weapon shot at them, and anything that's AP1 is automatically ignored. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Oh, and the ability and the ethereal's leadership bubble is actually army wide for Anba, so everyone gets rerolls on all their leadership tests. Long Strike is pretty good. In addition to giving the Hammerhead BS5, it gives the Hammerhead Overwatch, and can Overwatch more than once per turn. So with the supporting fire, if you're charging multiple tau units at once, Long Strike's hammerhead could hit you multiple times, once for each unit. And with the upgrades and the new weapon systems, that's really, really kind of dangerous. Dark Strider again is pretty good. Unfortunately, Dark Strider does take up an HQ slot. It's not an upgrade for Pathfinders because he can go to Pathfinders or Fire Warriors, so they couldn't make him just a unit upgrade. And everything he shoots at is -1 toughness, except on Overwatch. So he's got Outflank, Scout, Supporting Fire, and Fighting Retreat, which means any unit he's in can consolidate D6 inches after Overwatch. So it'll be kind of hard to charge him, hopefully. He's weapon skill 4. Interesting. Anshi is kind of cool. It's a little kind of right in between the price of a Ethereal and Anva. Anshi is a challenger. He's got a shield generator, so he's got a 4-up invul save, and one of his abilities allows him to re-roll his saves. So that's basically the equivalent of a storm shield, basically. He's initiative 5, weapon skill 5. He's got strength 5 because he's honor blade, so he doesn't have any AP on his close combat attacks, but he does have defensive grenades and all the other ethereal abilities, and he can actually do some damage in combat. Oh yeah, he's got like 4 attacks too. That's pretty good. Right here we start getting into the weapons. There's only 3 melee weapons in the game. The Equalizer, which is a close combat weapon that's AP 4. They have the Honor Blade, which is the close combat weapon that's 2-handed plus 2 strength, just like before. And the Crude Rifle is AP 5 instead of giving you an extra attack. So I guess against guardsmen or something that'll be pretty good. They won't get their save. And then we start getting the race weapons. Let's just change on the things that kind of changed. The airburst fragmentation projector didn't really change. Burst weapons. Burst cannon got an extra shot. That's why it's so good, because it's actually assault 4 now instead of 3. The heavy burst cannon, which is on the Riptide, is base heavy 8 and can Nova charge to heavy 12 with rending. That's a lot of shots. Fusion blaster is now 18 inches, so she gives you a 9-inch melter range, which is pretty good. Crude weapons, pretty much the same. Sniper round gives you sniper. Ion weapons, there's a lot of ion weapons with lots of different stats. Some are AP2, some are AP3, some are AP4. They can overcharge to... Most ion guns can overcharge to a new profile. The ion accelerator for the Riptide can overcharge and Nova charge, so it has 3 different profiles it can shoot at. So the ion cannon, which is what's on the hammerhead, is the same as before, strength 7, AP3, heavy 3. Or you can overcharge to a strength 8, AP3, large blast. So basically, as I said, a battle cannon. Ion rifle, quad ion turret, which is on the fighter, can overcharge a strength 8, AP4, large blast. There's 2 missile pods, the missile pod and the high yield missile pod, which is basically doing 2 shots and 4 shots. As I said, the Vespa's weapon got up to 18 inches instead of 12. Plasma rifle is the same. Let's see. Long shot pulse rifle, which is what's on the sniper drones, says 48-inch. AP5 sniper. Pulse bomb. Only strength 5, AP5, not that good. Pulse carbine's gone up to 2 shots, which is why the pulse carbine is really good now, especially on gun drones. So unlike the Piranha, it gets a 4-shot burst cannon and 2 twin-linked pulse carbines. So that's 8 strength 5 shots at 18 inches. Pulse rifle is the same. Pulse pistol is actually in the book as a weapon. Rail guns. There's 3 different rail rifles, rail weapons. The heavy rail rifle, which is on the broadsides, is 60-inch, strength 8, AP1. The rail rifle got a lot better. It's 30 inches again, strength 6, it's AP1 instead of AP3, and is rapid fire now. Which means if you get real close, the rail rifle is going to do a lot of damage. Of course, the rail gun's the same. Seeker missiles are good, except you don't need a marker light to shoot them. The marker light makes them better, but you don't have to have it to shoot it. And smart missile system is insane. They've gone up an extra 6 inches in range, and now they flat out ignore cover and don't need line of sight at all. Smart missiles are just fantastic. support systems. The drone controller, you don't need a drone controller to take drones, but what happens if you do take a drone controller is that the model with the drone controller uses his ballistic skill instead of the drone's own ballistic skill, which is why the sniper drone team gets BS5 because the shooter guy has BS5. Black Sun filter is the same. Advanced targeting system gives you precision shots on anybody, or if they're on a character, you can get precision shots that are 5 and 6. You can get intercept. Counter-fire defense system. Model with the counter-fire defense system gets Overwatch at BS2. Early warning override, that's the intercept. Homing beacon is basically like a banner or instead of homing device. No scatter within 6 inches when deep striking. Gravity wave projector gives you reduces a unit's assault range by D3. Multi-tracker, same as before, but all suits have multi-trackers. They're not as listed as an item, so everyone has them. Network marker light is very specifically spelled out on how it's used, but it only is included on 2 units, the Skyray and the Bomber. Pulse accelerator gives you an extra 6 inches on your pulse weapons. Positional relay allows you to arrive from reserve. When outflanking, you can choose to move on from wherever the positional relay is. Pulse foam generator, went over that on the Bomber. Riptide shield generator is a 5-up normally instead of the normal 4-up, which is a shield generator. Stimulant injector gives you feel no pain. Target lock's the same. Vector retro thrusters give you both fleet and hit and run. And since almost everything in the book is Initiative 2, hit and run's not going to be that great. Velocity tracker is the one that gives you Skyfire, which can be taken on all suits. Oh, here's the great page from the right dwarf. Here's a comparison of the armor sizes, and I think some information gives you the armor saves, and this is where stealth battle suits gain stealth and shrouded. Vehicle battle systems. The automated repair system allows you to repair on a 6. Advanced targeting system gives you precision shots on a vehicle. Black Sun filter, of course, night vision. Decoy launchers. This is really good. Gives you an 4-up invul save against interceptor shots. So your fighters can fly on and don't have to worry about the quad gun quite as much as other units, other flyers do. Disruption pod gives you a stealth, basically. Flacid chargers, it's the same. Point defense targeting relay allows the vehicle to overwatch, but only with weapon strength 5 or less. Sensor spine gives the vehicle move through cover. Signature systems are really cool. Of course, there's only one per army. Command and control node. If the model with that thing does not fire, then everyone else gets rerolls, which stacks with the sensor suite, which allows them to ignore cover. So you can take both of those on a HQ, and then you can use those. The HQ doesn't fire, and then the rest of his unit gets both rerolls and ignore cover. Failsafe detonator is pretty much the same. Onager Gauntlet allows the model to have a single Strength 10 AP1 melee attack. A Neuroweb System Jammer allows one enemy unit to makes all their weapons get hot. Pure Tide Neurochip is really good. It gives you a different special rule, either counterattack, furious charge, monster hunter, stubborn, or tank hunter. And you pick that at the beginning of the turn. Repulsor impact field. You take the chargers take initiative 10, strength D6, strength 4 hits. And the Iridium Battlesuit, of course, gives you a +1 toughness and a 2+ save. Some more pictures. So yeah, I think that's going on over. I think I'm going to stop here for this part of the video. We've gone over what you can take, what I think of each individual unit, real quick. But now we're going to go over my first army list and the kind of options you can take. So, see you in part 2.